Okay, we are now live, and we are off here at Motegi. Damn, that was a fast start. No one delaying in the pit lane at all. With me is, of course, Byron Derksecchi. And Division 2 superstar Andy Blade.
G'day, guys.
We're going to comment in here on the Motegi race from Division 1. So Division 1, you've been asking it for a long time for us to do your race. And we are, for better or worse, going to give it to you.
Are we getting paid for this?
No. I am. My agent's pretty good.
Oh, someone's actually still using the Chevy Daytona prototype.
Yeah, I think that's Sean Kenny.
Look, Martin de Putin Edmond. He racing in the fourth position. He moving up on the Martin lower. Lower getting higher.
Wesley Stokes running in 6th position. Top American.
I mean, that's not saying a whole lot.
17 cars. What's the breakdown here? We got 8 prototypes and 9 GTs for this particular race.
You guys are still doing the weird mixed car thing?
Yeah.
What's the deal with that? You guys just trying to lump as many races into one race as you can?
I wasn't really part of the decision making, so Andy, if you would like,
it's just
it's
kind of a common theme for these multi-class to go with this kind of car, the two brand of cars.
Mm-hmm. I'm just not familiar at all. I don't understand why you would have 2 completely different cars in one race.
Well,
It
it's
just
kind
makes
of
it more exciting, right?
Yeah, it's kind of
really.
kind of replicating a Le Mans or Daytona feel to it, basically, where you have different classes competing on the same track. And it was also a way to get more people interested because we're bringing in the Red Line guys as well as the ESR guys for these races.
All right. Well, yeah. I just don't. I don't understand from a complete novice type of point of view. Also,
we just need to keep drinking, Byron. You'll be fine.
I don't have any more booze left. You guys took too fucking long.
And Richard DeRoche taking advantage and moving up into 4th position, and Wesley Stokes might also get by there in the no. Looks like he's been held off for now.
I'm gonna do this from now on. That's how empty my booze bottle is. Because you motherfuckers in Division 1, prima donna motherfuckers, decided you're going to have to take all night to upload your race. And I'm going to everybody needs 45 minutes to prepare for the commentary. And I'm just going to...
Wesley Stokes and Martin getting into a little bit of face there. And the prototype is trying to make its move up into 5th position. Bit surprised to see a prototype because the prototypes, of course, we worked it out to what was it, 2 plus liters more fuel per lap, I want to say.
I think when it averages out, it's at least a litre a lap more, yeah.
Which is a significant.
From what I'm getting from Sean, he gave me some reports later on.
You guys serve liter cola?
We do. Wesley Stokes dropping down into 7th place. He is good battle though here for about 5th place upwards. And Sean Kenny making the move on Martin Edmonds, who's dropped down to 6th position and out of the top 5.
Oh,
but
Martin,
he is trying to
you
come
let
back.
down the side. Oh, Martin. Oh, flip-flop the Martin.
Still fighting hard with the Chevy Daytona prototype, which is going to have more grunt down the straightaways, but it is going to have a harder time in the turns, being a bit of a heavier, less handling efficient car. You can see it twitching for every second. Jesus.
I do that some days.
That is one of my favorite Daytona prototypes, though, the Visit Florida car.
What's the deal with dipping onto the stripe section of the border of the track there?
Just allows you to possibly carry more speed through the turns, and you are allowed 1 to 2 wheels on off the track at any given time.
Is it more traction?
It is not more traction. It is actually less traction, but you're not braking as much for the turns. So you're carrying more speed through.
Less resistance for the tires you put on there, sort of a deal.
Not so much that. It's just, let's say you're approaching a turn at 200 miles an hour. And you hit the brakes. If you want to stay completely on the tarmac, which is the black stuff. Oh, someone spun around there. And there's Martin Lauer falling to the back of the prototype field. Anyways, to finish the comment, John Spriggs. I don't know why, but that name makes me chuckle a little bit inside. I'm not gonna lie. Basically, if you're approaching a corner at 200 miles an hour, you need to slow down to, let's say, 80 miles an hour to take the turn clean. But if you slow down to, say, 85 miles an hour, you just go a little bit wide onto the curbing there, the blue and white in this case. And that means that you carried an extra 5 miles an hour through the turn, which means you're going to be a little faster.
So it's like less, not so much, so you got like less resistance but more traction on one side.
Correct.
Alright, cool. Sean Slater-Kenny coming in 5th place.
We've got about
Brody Kevin Steen, 14th place.
Ah, yes, Brody Steen. I have not raced against Brody nearly as much as I want to.
He's too far up the front normally.
Normally, yes. He also tends to disconnect randomly as well. He's in the Ford GT car there.
I'm not familiar with the flags. Is that Australian or New Zealand?
That's Australia.
Well, I mean, he's off in his own fucking little world there, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
The only flag that's important is the little maple leaf anyway.
Indeed. Got the flag you don't see every day with the Albanian flag there.
Albanian. Is that the guy in 13th place?
That is the guy in 13th place.
How did I know? The big giant fucking black symbol.
Would be Albania.
It looks
All you needed to be is like a giant handprint.
It looks like Vinny's in a bit of a battle, eh?
Indeed. We got a good battle going on here for 9th place between also 11th and 12th place having a good fight. Someone's having a fight with Darcy. I'm confused by that. Normally when I see Darcy, it's just see him just long enough to wave goodbye.
Oh, it's Christoph.
Snap.
Darcy going around the outside, trying to take over 11th position, and I think he is through in the BMW.
The syndrome strikes again.
And Sean Kenny putting the pressure on Martin Edmonds. He's got Wesley Stokes right behind him, and then John Spriggs in 7th place in the Battle of Prototypes here for just off of the podium. Top 3 have more or less escaped about, 4 seconds between Derksecchi and this group. And Derksecchi not really able to keep up with, I believe that is William Martin in 2nd place, and I do not know that 1st place driver other than he is a Finnish driver.
I think he's new to the series, not been in it too long.
That sounds like racism.
Jürgen Walby trying to put pressure on the GT class leader there in the battle for 9th place overall.
Good on you, Wallaby.
And Wesley Stokes looking to put the pressure on Sean Kenny. And we also have a pretty good battle here for what is, I believe, 5th place amongst the GTs with Visar Giancoli on the tail of Brody Steen.
Is Wesley Stokes the one on Discord that is only listed as Wesley?
That is it.
I would like to apologize to Wesley Stokes because in my mind, every single time I see you post anything on Discord, my brain kicks in with the Captain Picard, "Shut up, Wesley!" And it's, I mean, that's not fair, but that's what it is.
He's a perfectly nice guy.
Hey,
Looks like
so was Wesley
Parkinson got
Crusher.
past Duracellin.
He did, and Duracellin's... Well, actually, I think that happened a while ago as Parkinson got past him. Now Duracellin's coming back at him to try to get back to position. Wesley Stokes, the prototypes have largely, I think, kind of settled, it looks like. 1st through 8th place there. I'll be interested to see if Martin Lauer can catch up from his earlier problem. Duracellin on the attack against Darcy Parkinson here at the Motegi Road Course. I really like this track, actually. I was very slow here, as Andy can attest to, as he got to lap me. But it was a really fun race.
It is a fun circuit, actually. Once you dial it in, it's kind of neat.
I would like to send a big old shout out to Martin Edmonds, who I get the impression was trying to feel me out to whether or not he was going to buy or send me a racing rig, to which I tried to politely decline, in as much as that would be a massive waste of time and money.
He was going to send you his old Logitech Momo wheel.
I mean, if you want some really ridiculously hilarious rage quits on YouTube, I can make that happen. Outside of that, not gonna be good.
It's true. I tried to get Byron into racing, and it didn't work.
I was so angry. After 45 minutes of fucking around on the track, I was so mad.
It debatably is the worst attempt I've had to try to get you into a game. It's either that or Mech Warrior.
Well, Mech Warrior wasn't your fault. It was the game's fault for making me goddamn seasick. I mean, you can't have the background jump around while my foreground or my midground's jumping around. That's not a thing that's gonna happen.
I'm surprised that the class leader here in GT is still that Corvette Z06, because that car, my experience with that car has just been largely nothing but negatives.
I think you either like it or you hate it. It's one of those things, and if you like it, you can probably drive it pretty good. But it looks like the GT3s are separating out into packs now, with 1, 2 up front, and second and third separated, and then we've got this big group at the back here.
They're still pretty damn close together, though. I mean, we're talking about
little packs of them, you can see groups going on.
We're talking like 12 seconds between 9th place and 16th place, and really just that BMW at the back, Roussel, being the really off-the-pace guy, not really racing anything. Shout out to Rudy. Appreciate racing with him.
This is a good group, though.
It's your boy Evgeny!
Indeed it is. It's a battle between Visar Ginkoli, Yevgeny Lazarenko, and I apologize, but I don't know who that is in 16th place in the Nissan. MIT?
I think it's James Mitchell.
James Mitchell, okay. That would make sense. John Springs going on the attack against Wesley Stokes. Or Spriggs. Or maybe
Felcher.
Don't know why. It's not Felcher this time. Spriggs is through into 6th position. We'll see if Wesley can make a comeback here. Have we ever worked out what the prototypes in this game actually... Wesley lost it.
Too early.
And now we got Ginkoli going on the attack.
You got that ass.
It looks like
Audi on Audi.
Oh, no.
Oh, little contact between Lazarenko and Ginkoli. Oh, Ginkoli's off. We pick up Sean Kenny just showing off the visitflorida.com car. Doing a good job there. Have we figured out what the Radical and the DMP car actually are in real life? Because I don't think that those are legit car brands as far as prototypes are concerned.
That looked like a Porsche. Is that legal?
That's totally legal.
It's totally legal.
Are you sure about that? I don't know if that's really like a thing we should be encouraging here.
At least it's not the knockoff Porsche.
True.
Back when the Porsches were not in the game, we had a company called RUF, Rough, which are they're based
as rough as they sound, though.
They're just basically an engineering company that does retooling of Porsche engines.
Oh, I think were they probably a thing that was brought up on Top Gear like once or twice?
Probably at some point, yeah.
I think so.
There are similar ones for like Mercedes with the Carlson brand and so on. As Martin Lauer is reeling in Wesley Stokes, we know Lauer's a bit out of position. He qualified like 3rd or 4th and is back down in 8th place right now.
I mean, the only difference is that on Top Gear, they probably know what they're talking about.
Oh, snap.
That's true.
Compared to us guys.
Well, I mean,
Byron.
Listen, does that car, do they have like a brake pedal on that? Because I'm not familiar.
Martin Lauer still on the attack against Wesley Stokes. My 2-0 racing boys facing off against each other.
I'm going to officially apologize to Wesley Stokes by giving him a nickname.
Oh, what do you need?
He will now be Wesley the Fire Stokes.
I mean, you could also call him Wesley the Anti-Clap Stokes.
You could, but it's not as cool because I said the cooler thing first.
That's true. That's true.
Today's race brought to you by Uncle Pappy's Vintage Grape Juice. Get yours at least 15% alcohol by volume.
I was just watching Martin Lower's car there, and it looks like he's got a little damage on the front. Hopefully it's not affecting his aero.
Could be. He did definitely have a very hard collision early on in the race, so that's definitely an option. Brody Steen in the Ford, still trying to... Actually, he's on the tail of Darcy Parkinson now. What happened to... I've already forgotten his name, but he's the German driving the Porsche who's down in 14th place. He was right up on the back of Darcy.
Christoph Giselle.
Yeah, he's definitely had a moment at some point.
We must have missed something there, yeah.
Yeah. Because he's dropped off the back. I think he probably had a contact with Darcy, because Darcy is now with Brody, and Brody and Darcy weren't particularly close together beforehand. So, probably a little bit of collision that was missed by the camera.
All I see is the McDonald's car coming down the track.
I know. I know. Every time.
I'm getting so hungry watching it.
For anybody confused at home, I am totally doing the Bane voice by talking into my empty booze glass.
It is strange that Byron has
I think Division 1 are going to have to start sending you booze if they want more commentary.
I'm going to...
You could set up like a PayPal account, Byron.
I'm going to start a Go Booze Me.
Booze me fun. And I'll keep talking shit.
The more booze you send, the more shit I talk. Time to go mobile.
Brody Steen trying to get on the attack against Darcy Parkinson.
It's Darcy the Syndrome Parkinson, thank you.
I do recall when that Ford GT was a really overpowered car some time ago. But then they kind of nerfed
In a
it on the
straight
VOP.
line.
Oh no, it was actually a good turner as well.
Yeah, they kind of tweaked him a little bit back.
Yeah.
Listen, Ford turning what? Sorry? Huh? Don't they use massive slabs of iron as springs?
I think you're thinking of Chevy.
Does it matter?
Ford's not quite as straight line based as Chevy is. Oh, Brody is putting the pressure on.
Go Jack. Oh no, that's different Brody.
Oh, he's really trying, eh? Stepping out there.
He is. Plenty of time still left on the clock as we've not even hit the pit lane window yet. In the meantime, the battle for the class lead continues between Roberts and Walby.
Yeah, it's still close, eh?
It's still close.
Looks like Vinnie Roberts just can't shake him yet.
Yeah, can't quite get away from. But he's
Audi's
not under.
Pulling in the draft a bit, you know.
Yeah, he's not facing any kind of serious problem though. By the way, this is probably the first track where the Audis came into their own in terms of just a track that suits the car characteristics.
Yeah, it felt pretty good today, I gotta say.
I'm going to say that this seems like a track that I could easily replicate in Trackmania.
I mean, your Hockenheim was pretty damn
Brody's
good.
gone for it. He's going for the inside.
Oh, no,
He's down the inside.
Super tight. Oh, I think they touched.
They may have touched a little bit.
Not quite.
Oh, they may go side by side into this
I
turn.
think Darcy's going to take it, though. He's got the inside line.
Oh, the syndrome
If he can hold
strikes
it.
again.
Yeah, but there's a switch back there. If he can make it happen,
Yeah, no, he's got
doesn't
it.
look like he's got it though. Yeah. And in the meantime, Walby has closed in on Roberts for the battle for the lead. Fantastic battle here today, mirroring your battle for the lead in the Division 2-3 race.
I think the battle was way better in Division 2-3, actually. The driving's better.
It is. That's why we're in Division 2-3.
And we could say that because we're the commentators.
Yeah, boy.
This is the
Yeah,
power.
boy.
Brody's still putting the pressure on Parkinson for what is third place amongst the GTs. Ford GT versus BMW M6. And Audi versus Corvette at the front of the battle.
I think the Corvette should be illegal, actually, because that glare from the chrome on the back's got to be putting Jürgen off.
That chrome is pretty nasty. There's a Mercedes that has the same. There's a Mercedes that has the same deal with the Lincoln Park Mercedes. AMG.
There's a McLaren too, I think, right?
Lincoln Park.
Is there?
What the fuck?
Yeah, there's a McLaren that's super chromy.
There is a Mercedes that literally is done up with Lincoln Park sponsorship.
Listen, if you're driving the Lincoln Park mobile, be prepared to just throw yourself into the wall nonstop.
In fairness, I drove it for a season.
And look how that ended up.
Actually, it ended up pretty well. I got a win.
Oh.
Well, this looks like we got a P2 coming up on the GT3 guys now, isn't it?
Yep, the prototypes are starting to make their way through.
Cause some problems.
That could definitely cause some problems. We've seen some intriguing moments in the Division 2 race in regards to P2's lapping.
Yeah, it cost me a lot.
It did. Can't say it cost me anything, but I wasn't really racing anybody after someone ran into the back of me during a pit stop.
No names mentioned.
Don't confront me nothing as long as I get my red paid on Friday.
But you know who you are.
You know who you are.
And so do we.
There's a penalty coming.
I thought Sean had closed the gap up there for a minute. It looked a bit closer than he had been.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit closer, but I think it's more dependent on like what parts of the circuit, because we've said before that the Daytona prototype, the Chevy, is a little bit different than the other prototype 2 cars, and it's just stronger in some of the sections where it can pull up.
Definitely, yeah.
Anywhere that it can make use of its better grunt. Mind you, this is not a track that I think.
Oh, we've
really
got to change for the lead.
We do. At some point, Walby has made the pass on Vinnie Roberts, and we'll see if Vinnie Roberts can make the comeback in the Corvette.
Maybe Vinnie got out and polished the chrome up a bit, and that's how he lost the place. I don't know.
Could be. Sean Kenny putting the pressure on Martin Edmonds, still in a battle for 4th position. Been a bit weird to see Martin struggle to pull away from Sean, because I mean,
he's catching him. Look, he's going to make a move. Maybe.
Yeah, right down the straightaway.
This is stick on the inside here. This is tough going into here at this angle.
Give him the pit maneuver.
No, he's got it.
It's hard to make it stick.
It's hard to make it stick. Oh, I went side by side with a couple of guys through this section here, and it is scary as shit.
I didn't realize you could cut that.
Whoa!
Major. I think Martin got on the gas a little early.
Martin got on the gas way too soon and should probably drop to the back of the prototypes, maybe?
Then Martin, he
Big
put
Mac
down the
is done.
poutine grease too thick, and he spun out, and then the tabernacle.
Yep, Spriggs is through. Next up will be Wesley Stokes and Martin Lauer. It looks like he's gotten going before they've gotten there, so he's only lost.
It's actually, Sean Kenny was very lucky there that he didn't get carted up in that mess.
That's true.
He seemed to get right through it, you know?
He did hit him in the side, so maybe some front-end damage. We'll have to have a look at that.
Well, let's see if Vinny can pull it back now.
Indeed, Vinny putting the pressure on. We're kind of at that point where we might start seeing some pit stops. 36 minutes to go.
Yeah, that is true, yeah.
I don't expect to see them until probably around the 33-minute mark, but we should start seeing some soonish, maybe the next 2 or 3 laps.
I could see a Daytona pulling in, though.
That's true. Yeah.
Evgeny
Lazarenko under pressure. Well, not really from anyone, actually. He's kind of on his own right now. So weird seeing Evgeny race in Audi. He's always in something more...
Usually a BMW. Always a BMW.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true that Evgeny takes all the suspension out of his cars so that it squats down slab style every single time?
Yes.
Yeah, you'd have to ask him.
I believe I'm going to confirm that without asking him, actually.
Vinny has not yet really made a comeback at Walby, but we will see what happens there.
Yeah, I know from my race today that, like, if you make a mistake or a little accident with somebody or anything, like, it takes a lap or two to get it back again into your groove and then focus and then start pulling that time in again.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is for me anyway, you know, like it could upset me for a lap or two and then got to start concentrating again.
See, that's why I don't race with you guys, because I'm obviously way better at like
you just
getting
be
focus.
too hammered.
And, I mean, it's just too much, right?
Can't shake the confidence of a man with alcohol running purely through his bloodstream.
You just got to do an NSU at Macau or something, then you'd be fine.
What?
Fully loaded.
Actually, at some point, we do need to get Byron to try the NSUs out.
Yeah.
What does that
would
even
be-
mean? I don't know.
The
bathtubs.
NSU, they're basically bathtubs, yeah.
Nice.
And they are awesome. Fun racing.
I will run you all off the road. I have no shame. If you're gonna lap me, you're going to the wall. Every single time. I will kill myself. You will go in the wall. You will not win.
I think Roberts has started getting his concentration back. It looks like he's starting to claw it back a little bit.
I think we lost Darcy at some point. He's down a lap and at the back of the pack, so maybe he pitted, but I think maybe there was a problem for Darcy Parkinson. We'll have to see if he pops back up on the screen.
I think it could be the pits, because look, there's a few now.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Parkinson, showing 2 laps now. That's weird.
Yeah, he's 2 laps down, which makes me think that something definitely happened.
He did. He could have gone out, yeah.
Might have. And it would also be a bit early for GT3 to be coming into the pit lane, I would think. I mean, we're definitely going to see some prototypes diving for the pits. If not already, then very shortly. But the GT should have another 5 or so minutes of fuel. Interestingly enough, I do believe that the Corvette does burn a bit less fuel than some of the other GT3s. Just in my eyeball testing when I was going through the cars.
That don't seem right, does it?
Yeah, I thought that was a bit weird.
You'd think that would use more than anything.
Not enough to make we're not talking like the Chevy Daytona prototype difference where it's 2 liters a lap or whatever, but I'm talking a couple tenths of a liter basically per lap probably. Wonder how that'll translate in the pit stops because it does mean that he has to take on probably less fuel than
Maybe
the
that's
Audi ahead of him.
maybe that's where we'll try and get him on the pits.
And of course, calculating your fuel really well is gonna help you a lot.
I mean, that's if you can get in the pits without being taken out in pit lane, right?
Yeah, and breaking the back end of your car. Oh, Martin's off again. Martin is off again.
Listen, Martin, you need to stop listening to that song, The Country Road. You stay on the track.
He found that country road.
The country road and not take you home. Okay?
Well, it looks like Vinny is really closing up now.
Indeed, it's getting really close.
Yeah, I'd say slipstreaming him now.
In the battle here, and Vinny should be the faster of the two in dead straight line, depending on the setups.
A dread straight?
Yeah, dead straight, I said.
I thought we were going to see some tricky shit here, and he just did not have it to take it around the corner.
Nah.
Sometimes it's better off to back off and then crash,
Well, it's also you got to realize that when you're in the draft and you're coming up behind someone, once you pull out, you're hitting that wall of air that will cost you some speed. So if it looks like you have a solid run, you may really not once you're out of the draft.
Yeah, I've noticed sometimes too that braking hard is really, and when you're in that draft, it can really screw the braking zone up.
Absolutely. And
Braking zone, take me home. Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, you carry on.
Carry on. I
Really,
didn't really have anything else to add. Sean Kenny has taken 3rd place from Richard DeRoche at some point, so we missed that. Obviously, no ill effects of his collision with Martin Edmonds earlier on. Looks like the car is fine. I must say, the one complaint I have about Motegi is that pit lane entrance is a little bit of a death trap.
Oh, it's evil, eh?
It is a little bit of a death trap.
I can only meet worse on track than you.
Richard there.
Yeah, it looks like
Richard had an issue.
Yeah, it looks like he had a moment. He's lost a spot to John Spriggs as they're working their way through the lap traffic of the GTs. Vinny Roberts. Vinny did a 48.9. Oh, God. Sweet Jesus, I feel slow.
As well you should.
And it looks like...
he was on fire, right?
Yeah, indeed. It looks like we have a pit stop from Walby, so we'll see how that plays out in the end in terms of if Vinny can turn going a lap or two longer into an overcut. Parkinson, by the way, now down 4 laps. I suspect he is out of the race.
It looks like he's retired, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling up through Discord because I think so. I remember somebody asking him what happened. I don't know if he responded. I'm just scrolling.
Indeed, it looks like Wesley Stokes may also be out of the race, or that may be some kind of timing glitch. They've been known to happen. We'll keep an eye on that as well. We may have lost one GT and one prototype from this race already.
I wonder if that was an issue in the pits for Wesley or something, maybe.
Could be. I know that Michael Jeffries had problems in the pit lane in our race. He had to go in like 2 or 3 times to serve one pit stop. Ended up really ruining a pretty good race for him. He was in like 7th or so place in the GTs and wound up not dead last, but dead last effectively because he was only ahead of Wagner and Pacheco, who, not wishing to speak ill of either driver, I fully enjoy racing with John Pacheco, but they definitely did not have the pace of Motegi on this particular occasion.
No, there was a hell of a crash in there too, with Unaki as well, and Pacheco.
Oh, yeah, that was huge.
Holy man, the car went flying.
That
it
was
must have totaled Andrew's car as well, so I guess
that was when he retired, which is a shame because he was in 2nd place, or I think he's him and John Pacheco are the 2 guys who are battling for the D3 crown. So their struggles helping me out a little bit.
For sure.
Richard Giroche seems
going
to be
in the pits.
Yep, heading into the pit lane, and so is Martin Edmonds. This is a very tight pit lane entrance. I swear there are some tracks in this game that have a more challenging pit lane than any section of the track.
Yeah, that one is really... The only other one I can think of is like Mantorp as well. That's got a really nasty little pit entry.
Laguna Seca.
Yeah.
In the meantime, William Martinez inherited the lead from... I still don't know the name of the Finnish guy. If you know, please provide. He appears to have pitted, which would make sense because, of course, we were talking about the prototypes taking up, or the Daytona prototypes taking up a lot more fuel than their Le Mans counterparts.
I can find no details on what happened to Darcy. So, I mean, God damn it!
Well, that's a fail.
Stupid Discord bastards.
Yeah, it looks like him and Wesley are out for sure. Martin is being shown in 17th place. I think that's a timing glitch because we saw him go in the pits, and he was not that far back. John Springs.
He's losing more and more time though. I think something's gone on there.
It could be, or it could just be a transponder issue.
It could be that he sprang for the undercarriage wash, and they take a little extra time.
So, looks like Richard jumped Spriggs in the pit lane and is out ahead of him now in 4th position. So, either took less fuel or Spriggs put too much fuel in, or possibly a tire change for Spriggs.
Could be tires, yeah, which you might pay for.
Yeah, but sometimes you need that tire change. I know Dean Reimers took tires in our race because he was like 25 seconds ahead of me and Lachlan, and when we went in the pits, a fateful moment for my race, we came out with Dean like right in front of us, so he definitely took tires.
See, I didn't take tires this time because I knew Caesar wasn't gonna take tires.
I did not take tires, but I think it was a marginal call. My tires were definitely very worn by the end of the race.
Yeah, I was definitely losing time as to what I could, but if I'd have pitted for tires, I wouldn't have got second.
Yeah, that's always the question, is when you're dealing with, it depends on what the guys around you are doing.
Totally.
Obviously.
And I actually made the call for that on the fly while I was going around. I just switched it off because I did have it selected for fronts.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it didn't work out. Well, I mean, I don't think in general, like, Dean dropped a couple of spots by taking the tires. Like, the performance he got off the fresh rubber didn't make up for the time he was in the pits. But those who know Dean know that he's a controller guy, and as a result, his tires take an absolute beating during the races.
I would like to state for the record that it only matters if you pit for tires if you haven't run everybody off the road by that point.
Although, to be honest, Dean did spin like almost right out of the pits with his fresh rubber, so he may have negated some of the advantage.
Just lit him up, babe.
He did. It was like maybe like the second lap out of the pit lane. I just came up on him and just saw him spin out. So, not a great day for the Australian Dean, and they continue to work their way. Oh, that was
just swamping.
Yeah.
Inside, outside.
Yeah, John Spriggs losing a little bit of ground to Richard DeRoche there as they lap. That is, I'm pretty sure, Walby. And it looks like Walby currently is in 4th place amongst the GT3, so that would suggest that Lazarenko, Derlson, and Brody Steen still have to pit.
I don't think Roberts has pitted either, has he?
Possibly Roberts as well. Someone is in the pit lane there.
Yeah, Lazarenko just went in.
Lazarenko's in the pits, okay. So he'll drop back at this point.
It should start to even out again then.
Mitchell's going pretty long in the Nissan. I would have thought that would have been one of the earlier pitters, to be honest.
Some people are pretty good at saving fuel too, though, right? And a little bit of coasting and that, and save a bit of fuel and get one more lap or so.
Speaking of the D2, D3 races, David Anderson would be a good example of that. He's always one of the last ones to pit. John Spriggs is now on the pressure on DeRoche again. Bit surprising that Richard can't leave him a little bit for dead, because Richard was a strong qualifier, and I think Spriggs actually started dead last amongst the GTs, or not the GTs, the prototypes, which could also mean that he just didn't get a lap time in.
I think we got Sean Kenny coming up behind Christoph Jusselen again, and he's battling Steen, so this could be interesting.
Yeah. These two I don't think have pitted, so they're probably fairly light on fuel right now as well. And not far behind it is the battle between DeRoche and Spriggs. So this could get very interesting as how the prototypes impact the GT2 fight here for what is right now 2nd place, but probably not effectively 2nd place once the pit stops shake out.
It looks like it didn't cause too many problems though.
Looks like Derksecchi lost a little bit of room to Brody Steen, who has opened up a little bit of a gap. But we'll see. They're going around again, and we're at 20. We're under 23 minutes left, and they still have fuel. So some great work by some of the GT drivers on fuel saving, without seemingly losing a lot of pace, which is very impressive.
So I'm kind of thinking by now we got like 4 retirees by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like Edmonds got put at the back, so we know he got DQ'd.
Parkinson, Stokes.
And possibly Giancoli is also out.
Yeah, I would think so. And I think Lazarenko's just the last of the one, being lapped guys.
Yeah, Lazarenko we saw go in the pits, so he should be still running, but we'll have a quick look at that.
Lazarenko, he has to have more of the hydraulic fluid removed from cars, so he squad farther.
Yeah. Oh, this is nasty, Pete.
This is a little bit of a nasty blue flag situation right here.
Oh. Are we going to see it, though?
And
looks
John's...
like Richard got around the outside, and John too.
Yeah.
No, he didn't make it. John didn't make it.
He didn't make it.
A bit of time.
This is going to be big if Richard can clear Brody Steen.
Because John's probably going to get held up by Brody into the next turn, I would think.
Yeah, but Richard still hasn't cleared Brody.
Oh, this is tightened it up.
Oh,
what
boy.
Inside, holy
touchy-feely time.
That was awesome.
Shades of Michael Schumacher, Mika Hakkinen, and Ricardo Zonta, Belgium 2000.
Listen, there's not enough moves on this track to be making.
It looks like actually John benefited from that all, I think, really. Kind of closed it up.
He definitely benefited from the second half of that for sure.
Yeah.
Because Richard had benefited from the early half, and it opened up a gap, but also looks like a car disappeared on it, so that beat Derksecchi in the pits. Yeah. So we're still waiting on Brody Steen to pit.
Unreal.
Looks like Roberts is pitted because he's back out behind Walby. So yeah, I think we're down to Brody Steen still has to pit, and possibly Mitchell in the Nissan.
Maybe Brody's got some jerry cans in the back that he's using.
Could be.
It's just straight grain alcohol.
That's kind of like the Aussie way, if you're going in the outback, take some jerry cans and we're good to go.
That's true. If anyone should know about fuel saving, it is the Australians.
Maybe let's see if this will pay off for him though, because he'll have a shorter stop too, with 20 minutes to go.
Oh, absolutely. He's only going to have to put in, like, what, 10 laps of fuel, maybe? 60 liters?
This could save him a lot of time.
Yeah.
If he's got it calculated.
Yeah, because at this point, he's looking at, let's call it, he's only looking at 50 or so liters to put in right now. And, I mean, from my experience, a lot of people were putting in, like, 80 and 90 liters at their pit stops. So, if this is an intentional plan that he was planning to run deep and fuel save, and he's got the pit lane set up with the preset that's going to just put him in enough to get to the end, that's going to save him a couple of seconds on the pit lane.
For sure. See, when I go in, I like to get the oil checked and the windshield washed and all that, and then I come out feeling good, you know?
That's true. Gives you a nice clear view of everything. Or you could just be me and have to have your rear wing reattached.
Rear wing, rear bumper, rear lights.
Deadass.
It doesn't look like John Spriggs is really having much luck making inroads into Derksecchi. But I would have to say that if I'm him, I'm very pleased with my performance. I'm pretty sure he was the dead last starting prototype, and he's gotten himself up to 5th place. He's had a pretty solid run.
Yeah, I find consistency sometimes outweighs being fast on one lap.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
And some guys focus too much, I think, on trying to be quick. You know, doing that one fast lap, and that ain't going to cover it for a 60-minute race.
Yeah, no, 60 minutes, you got to maintain focus and obviously, you know, not have my problem, which is, you know, leg and ass falling asleep.
And plus fitting a new rear bumper and new rear lights and
that too. I believe that they had to realign the tires during my pit stop.
I believe the entire world was destroyed.
It's like that must have been like a career-ending moment. We should have commentated on that race.
Indeed.
I've seen Spriggs do this weird fucking snake move through this one particular section twice in a row. What's the deal with that?
Who's doing a snake move?
Spriggs. Like Spriggs will come through like this short. I'm not familiar with the track, but he'll come around this short straight section, and he'll go a hard left into the hash marks and a hard right, and then straighten out. I don't get it, and I don't know why he's doing it.
Well, if you see it, mention it.
Yeah,
we did.
Don't hold back. Speak up for once, Byron.
Well, I saw him do it once.
Speaking of which, Spriggs is making the move.
Instant mistake. I'm like, that's fucked up. And I saw him do it twice. I'm like, I should probably do this.
It's weird. He's just got Richard there.
He's bagged Richard Derksecchi for 4th place.
Maybe he was just psyching him out doing it.
Could be.
A little bit of a flash of the headlights in the background there from Roussel. Not really sure what was up with that.
I think some guys just like to flash.
Could be. Richard's front headlight is out, but I don't think he has any particular damage on the front end. Trying to make a comeback here in the battle for 4th position. Canada versus the UK.
Derksecchi should be just throwing hockey pucks at him right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Drop his Zamboni on him.
The words of Wade Wilson, you're gonna get killed by a Zamboni.
Well, he's managing to stay with him.
He is staying with him. These two have
So
had
Byron, have you seen this section of track yet you were talking about?
No, I haven't. I mean, if I have,
pay attention.
If I have, nobody's made the same move that Spriggs did. I'll have to rewind that and see what the fuck is going on there.
Maybe there was like oil on the track or something.
Is that a thing in the...
No.
I guess.
It's not a thing.
Did somebody spill some fucking grain alcohol? I don't understand.
I mean, we did lose a couple of cars. There's a possibility maybe one of them sprung a leak.
Mandrake. Make me a drink of rainwater and grain alcohol.
I feel like Richard and John may have bribed the cameraman on this battle. And they both briefly overtook Kenny. I think that might have just been a lag issue.
Oh my goodness. They have murdered Kenny.
Yeah, they're still showing behind.
We were talking about the disadvantages of the Daytona prototypes, and yet 2 of them are on the podium right now. So
Sure enough, yeah.
interesting. Mind you, the disadvantage tends to be like Felipe at Hockenheim having to make a pit stop with like 1 lap to go. We ride on board with Richard as he continues to try to battle against John Spriggs. First and second place and third place appear to be largely secured, assuming that the prototypes don't have to make or the Chevys don't have to make a late pit stop. But if they do, I mean, this suddenly becomes a battle for a podium. This chicane is the most challenging part of this track, I think.
I've noticed this.
It's where a lot of accidents happen.
I'm disappointed we haven't had more.
And a little bit of I didn't have an accident there, but I definitely had a couple of oh shit moments there for sure during the race.
Remember, take your Duralax before going through chicane.
Speaking of which, we were talking about Brody Steen, whether the going long would work out for him. He has inherited.
Now, eh?
He's inherited 3rd place, which isn't much in the way of a place advantage. But if he's away from Derlson, and we haven't had a look at how far apart those 2 cars are, then it definitely paid off for him.
Did he inherit it or did he take it?
Well, he was ahead of Derlson when they were battling for position. So he hasn't picked up any spots. He's inherited 3rd place because of Darcy's...
Oh, we got an accident here.
Whoa! Did we have an accident?
That was damn close.
I don't know. We'll never know.
No, the gap is still there. I think Spriggs is still there.
Phew, that was lucky. It looked really bad.
He got lucky.
A little touchy-feely.
Definitely probably took a year off of Spriggs' life. But Richard DeRoche forcing his way past once again. And we'll see if they can put the pressure on Sean Kenny and make him possibly waste his fuel and maybe take a podium.
Wasn't there a list of penalties handed out earlier?
There was a considerable list in the Division 2-3.
Not finalized yet. No.
Okay.
Not finalized yet, but there is some discussion.
Can we go ahead and just blame Darcy Parkinson for all of them?
For sure.
We can definitely do that.
Excellent.
There's nothing stopping us.
So what do we got for order right now then, Mike? With the whole leaders, B2s, GT3?
Well, you got the top 6 there is your prototypes, and then Walby is your leader in the GT3s, followed by Robert, Steen, Derlson, and Lazarenko. And then we got Mitchell and Russell, or Roussel, pardon me. Byron gets to yell at me for that.
Well, you've been mispronouncing Durselin's name all night, so...
There's that. Sir, our commentary always has one name that I butcher the entire time.
Yeah, and if they don't like it, they can fuck off.
Feltzer.
We'll go back to Division 2-3 commentary.
Feltzer.
No one ever complained there, right?
Feltzer.
No one complained.
Nobody said we have to be polite about it either.
I do really wish that they would bring in the updated Nissan to replace that Nissan right there, because that back end is so boxy.
It's a nice car though. I like it.
I do not
like driving it too. No,
it may legitimately be my least liked GT3 car. It's either that or
to be honest with you, the only GT I know about goes downhill and has a steering wheel and 2 skis.
The Snow Racer GT.
It snowed a lot here today, actually.
It snowed like 1.5 foot here last night.
Yeah, I think we probably got about 8 inches on the driveway. I had to shovel off today. It's crazy. Oh, here's the race leader, finally.
There we go. We've
Ladies
literally
and
not seen
gentlemen,
anything.
If you
Come
want
on,
to
butcher
win,
his name.
Kallio Kulhala?
I
incorrect.
got close to it, Tommy.
I actually think that might be the answer because, I mean, the first part of his last name is just Mika Kallio's name. And then there is also there's an NHL player with that last name that is Kuhala. Or at
Let's
least
just
that's
agree that his name is probably Miku Koivu.
So I think I have that right, actually. Please confirm or deny, Tommy, in the comments.
Might I just say that my favorite hockey player of all time is Finnish?
Jarkko Ruutu.
Correct.
Oh, I liked him, yeah. Aggressive little
Such an asshole.
Yeah.
But not over the line. Asshole with
He's
the
not
hidden
Matt Cook.
close.
Just about that close.
He's not Matt Cook.
He's not Matt Cook.
Which your Vancouver Canucks had both Ruutu and Cook on them at the
Oh,
same time.
That's when I
it worked
watched
so
him.
well. We had Cook, Ruutu, and Sopel all on one line, if I'm not mistaken.
Sopel's a defenseman,
yeah.
so that wouldn't have been the case.
They
I'm sorry,
played together.
how did this guy hijack to hockey? You damn Canadians.
You shut up.
Because hockey is life.
Okay.
Listen, it's not cricket, but you got to settle down,
Cricket
all right?
sucks balls too.
Listen,
Soccer hooligan.
Just because it's not caber tossing, you need to calm down.
Sorry, Vinny, I tried, mate.
What you need to understand is that I
I'm
created...
outnumbered.
No, in college, I helped create an entire hockey simulator that, like, we basically watched 1990s hockey for like a month straight, compiling statistics for all the players, and then created basically a video game of 1990s hockey.
Correct.
Yeah,
And we
it's
got it.
Hockey. We were talking about soccer, weren't we now? Actually, we're supposed to be commentating on the race.
Yep.
It's all the
sorry,
same.
Sorry, Div 1, boys. This is our ploy, so you never ask us back.
It's all the same. Stuff rolls around and goes in like
sure.
an eventual like goal area type thing.
And
Well-
a puck's just like a ball that's been steamrolled over, right?
Correct.
Zambonied. So it's similar.
It's
Well,
like a ball
I-
but stiff.
The other problem is that based on where the camera's taking us, we just don't seem to have any battles going here. It
No,
looks
look
like
at
things
Tommy.
have-
He's way out in
Yeah.
front, eh?
Well, Tommy's been way out in
Ole,
front the
ole,
whole
ole.
day. He's been.
And
He's been.
it's not even a
blasting
rally
the field.
stage. I don't get it.
There's
How
that-
come he's so far in front?
I'm just gonna say, if you want to win, you get a fin, right?
True.
Ooh, I like it.
It's true for
That's
for
how
a
that
country
works.
for a
You should
country
tell
the
that to
size
Ferrari.
for a country the size of Finland, the fact that they have produced what 3 or 4 world Formula One champions is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, it is for sure. I just blame the rest of the field for letting this happen.
It's
Pick
possible.
your game up, guys. Like, what's wrong with you?
But we got like a Swede, and we got some sort of Russian offshoot, and some other people, and it's not as good as the Finn. Just pointing that out.
Well, in fairness, actually, it's a hell of a day to be Scandinavian. It appears because we got a Finn winning prototypes, and we got a Swede winning the GTs.
I think there's a conspiracy here somewhere.
There might be
There's a lot of ice.
a lot of ice suddenly appearing.
It does look good with the different flags, though. Like, I like to see that, you know, that we got a good variety of people
The
from all
multi-
over the world.
The
Brilliant.
multinational field.
We got some Canadians that didn't finish the race, but that's because they're from Saskatchewan.
Oh, I
We-
think actually Tim Hortons had a sale on, so I think they went to the drive-thru.
They're all hopped up on the caffeine and no corners.
We picked up a Hungarian driver or drivers today. That was kind of neat.
Neat. So dudes, can you send me some paprika?
Was that in a Div 2 race, Mike?
No. The girl that was chatting that was in the chat earlier. I looked her up on Race Room. She's got a Hungarian flag beside her name.
Oh.
So that'll be interesting.
Seriously though, the paprika from the Hunger. Can you?
That's damn true. Oh,
So can I just say, once we've watched this, can we
No, you
commentate
can't.
on- I can say, because
Okay,
I've got
go
the
on.
biggest hammer. So
Carry on.
can we not just like do the Div 2-3 race? I feel there's more action in that.
If it's actually been uploaded, I'm game.
I'm
We'll
up for it.
We'll have to check
I'll
on
have
that.
a quick smoke and a beer break, and then Byron, order some booze in.
Oh Lord, everything's closed.
No, you can get the after hours delivery, can't you?
Everything's closed.
No, that's not true.
Dude, it's after midnight.
Get on the dark web.
All right. Anybody got some of that bathtub gin?
It's only 20 after 12, man.
Guaranteed almost never to sometimes make you not go blind.
I'm also
sure there's some beer runs going.
At this point, I'm entire passenger because my YouTube crashed and I had to reload it.
Oh,
so
what's going on
you
in the pits?
are the worst. That means I can
see?
say anything and you have to believe it.
Look at this late pit stop with the Daytona. 4 minutes to go. And that's the cost of the Daytona. Let's hope it didn't cost him the race.
It's the Finn in the pits.
Yep.
I think he was probably far
Daytona.
enough. I think he's probably far enough ahead that he should still be able to come out.
Probably, yeah.
It's more Sean. It's more if Sean Kenny has to make the pit stop that it really gets interesting because he's got DeRoche and Spriggs not far behind him.
Yeah, but Kenny supports Liverpool, so who cares about him?
Oh.
Liverpool.
LIVERPOOL Liverpool FC.
I've seen Formula 51 a bunch of times. I'm well familiar with crazy people from Liverpool. I understand that they come down with an unfortunate affliction known as scouse mouth.
Oh yeah, not only that, the thieving bastards. If it ain't bolted down, they're taking it.
Oh, correct. So yeah, I'm now at Tommy's pit stop, so that's how far behind I am at this point.
Oh, well, come on, keep up, mate.
We're at 101.35 and counting. Your boy Richard the Roach DeRoche is coming up on just kind of maintaining his position, really.
What? Where are you at, mate?
I tried to
in the race.
I got 3 minutes and 39 seconds left in the race.
Oh, I got 3 minutes 10. How come it's different?
I skipped forward to try and catch up with you guys.
Well, I never touched mine.
Such a dick.
My YouTube crashed and I had to reload it.
Oh, I think, Byron's just skipping the commercials, but there weren't any, so he just skip.
Well, I happen to have an ad block on, so that helps.
There is no commercials, mate. So I'm at 2:49, mate.
Alright, so I'm about 20 seconds behind you guys.
2:40. Any minute, 2:40.
You're
now.
way ahead of me. I think you're cheating.
I just watched the whole video.
As with racing in general, Andy is clearly cheating.
I thought I was your favourite, and not from Surrey.
You're not my favorite. Clearly, Eddie Gonzalez is my favorite.
I'm leaving, that's it. See you fuckers later.
Get out.
What you don't realize is the amount of cyber oral sex that Speedy Gonzalez has been giving Byron.
That's true. Speedy's been messaging me a whole lot.
Is that how it works?
Not really, but kinda.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. Say what you want about me, I'll just drive. Anyway, back to the race.
Just reminding all the D1 guys, you asked for this.
We're sorry we butchered your fucking race.
It is past. Listen, it's past midnight for me, and I'm in the Pacific time zone. It's 3:30 in the morning almost for Mike, and Andy doesn't count.
No, I don't give it. No, I don't. What?
Or no, sorry, Andy can't count. Not doesn't count.
Well, that is true, but I do count. No, I count. Well, no, I don't.
But you need you need your shoes and socks off.
But Andy's the one that handles the standings.
Oh, that's scary.
Oh, I handle it all. Standings, the penalties. Byron just got a drive-through for that comment.
Give me all the penalties you want.
On my screens,
so Darushi is definitely catching Kenny now. I'm wondering if he's going to take third here.
Yeah, I've got that on my screen as well.
I'm at 50 seconds to go.
I'm wondering if Kenny's in fuel-saving mode, because we saw the other Chevy have to make a second pit stop.
Yeah, I think so. He might have backed off a bit.
I mean, it's the only way to go. I mean, if he runs out of fuel, he's going to be in worse shape. If he makes that pit stop, he's going to be in terrible shape.
I think it's going to probably one more lap. I hope they can make it.
Mm-hmm. We saw a similar situation to this at Hockenheim with Felipe Fajea having to make a late dash pit stop.
Okay, so I'm showing 5 seconds left in the race.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. I'm showing 10 seconds, and Sean just got overtaken for third place.
Correct. That's when I made the engine sounds with my mouth.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Right on.
That's the kind of quality you kind of should expect and will receive.
The shittiest thing was it was like 5.1 when you did it.
So despite the extra pit stop, Tommy is going to take the victory.
It looks like it, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. From
Only
William
12 seconds up.
From William Martin and Richard DeRoche on the podium.
Oh, Tommy boy, the winds are calling.
And your podium in the GT category looks like it's going to be Walby, Roberts, and Steen.
Yeah, I thought Christoph Drusellen would have been up there. A little bit disappointed, but it's been out of racing for a while, but I know that guy is fast. I expect big things next round from Christoph.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye on him.
I refuse.
Was that a tugboat coming in?
It's your mom signaling to make a turn.
No fucking mum jokes there.
Hey!
It is a bit low and uncouth.
Yeah,
and
well,
very
my mum
un-Byron.
died when I was 2, dude.
Is that why she didn't make any moves last night?
Oh! This is getting worse.
It's Howard got the
What the
necrophilia
hell did
mixed
I
in.
sign up for?
You didn't know? You didn't know?
Well, I kind of did, yeah. I just wasn't hammered enough ready for it. You guys have got to say, you know, commentary booth, plus 20 beers, join.
Yeah. I tried to make that understood. I have
No, I
drinking.
didn't get that. I
I
didn't get the
have
memo.
had an entire bottle of whiskey. I may
But
or
it's
may
not
not
enough,
say some
obviously.
shit.
You're still talking and you're still not in a coma, so
Yeah.
drink more.
I don't have any more. I bought a full bottle, understanding we would do commentary. Not
We
that it would
did.
take
We did
until
do
like
commentary.
2 in the morning.
Oh, come on, live a little. YOLO.
Actually, I started drinking about like 4:30 this afternoon.
Well, I gotta say, Dave, one.
Kind of sad. I mean,
Stay tuned and go watch Div 2-3. Way more racing.
hell yeah.
There will be a lot more contact as well, though.
No, but it's way
fair.
more fun. I mean, come on. If you want us to commentate, then you better put on more of a show. That's all I gotta say.
All right, so it says that we got like 3 DNFs, but that Martin is like way behind. He like has like an hour behind. He's stuck on the side of the road. Maybe get the poutine.
He got black flagged.
I don't know
speeding
what
in the pit lane.
McDonald's was doing. Yeah, I don't know.
Martin, he stopped for the poutine stop, and he just never got. He had nap instead of continued the race. Yeah.
I just don't think he ever got over it.
I just think that he believed as admin that the pit lane speed limit did not apply to him.
That's probably accurate though.
Harsh lesson. Have we stopped recording yet?